This is going to be in a video that I do. This is the research, how to write a research paper, and this is an article. So I'm doing these quick videos where I show you proof of things that I learned when I was in school and how we do things. But when they're criticizing me about this, they clearly weren't doing it at the same time because they would have known this is what we learned in school and this is how we were taught. So their criticism is, why do you do this? Why do you do that? Meaning they make everything that I do a reflection of my inner thoughts, like my logic. Whereas some things we were just taught to do, so we just do it automatically. We grew up doing it. So they just said, "Oh, you guys are gonna see my signature." This really isn't my current signature. This is how I wrote when I was very young. But I think a lot of us write like bigger when we were younger. I don't know why, but as I get older, my writing gets smaller. So everything is supposed to scare me. Everything's scary. The world is scary for them. But that's part of what I'm trying to do with this channel. If we can take every single if we can take every single thing that they do to scare us and say, well, what happens then? What then? It won't be as scary. I feel like this is how they get people to look mentally ill. That's the truth. And if we can finally find out what makes people look mentally ill if they're scared of everything, being scared of everything, that makes you look mentally ill, really, seriously. Because at a certain point in your life, you shouldn't be afraid of everything. Everything isn't going to be, what's going to happen if I do this? Ooh, that to me should end for most people. And if they were always doing this, I never would have gotten past that. Like you're seeing me now, and I keep telling you guys, I'm trying to record it as it's happening so that you can see what it feels like. If every time I go to do something like this is going to happen, it's as though they know every single possible bad scenario that could possibly happen at that moment. And I'm like, who has time to know everything that's going to happen at every possible moment? So what they're talking about is, well, in my life when bad things happened, well, I thought they were the ones who were supposed to be giving me the ideas. Do you get what I'm saying? So let's go back and forth like that. If you don't know this stuff, then you weren't the one giving me the idea. Maybe it's the person, the professor or the teacher who gave us this printout, who gave the idea. So you're not just taking credit for my life. You're taking credit for almost everything. Oh, I got a little tape on me. Everything everyone else does. So, well, maybe before the bad things happened, then you should have said these things. Maybe this could happen. Maybe that could happen. But you didn't. So, what they're trying to do now to me, this is another way of threatening me because now they're just outright threatening me. They said this is going to look bad for the people doing the voices. They claim they do everyone's voice, meaning when you hear these voices and it sounds like it's in your head or your idea. But I said already, a lot of people who are targeted know that that's not their voice or their idea. So again, it's never people saying, "Oh, I thought the voice was in my head." It may sound like it, but they know it's not them. I don't want to go into that for really fast, and then we'll go into something else. They're confused by what I mean when I say in your head. If the voice is being said to you, it's not you. And most targeted people know that's not me talking. I would know, like me, if it were me, if they had ever been able to create me, they would know this isn't my signature now. This probably came from, let me look. I can't find any dates because these dates are like the 1950s and 60s. Oh, I just dropped it. That's another example of what I'm going through. Trying to deal with my body not doing what I wanted to do. I'm trying to take my time and open things and it's not opening. So they're like, oh, you're faking it. Why would I fake this? I would, I would have to have faked it for now. It's been years. They even said something before I go into that. I want to say something. They even said that I started to lose my balance. And when I was walking up and down the train station steps, I would get to the top and I looked like I was going to fall. At the time, I didn't know. Like, I was so used to being able to run around and do all these things. I didn't know what was going on with me. I didn't think it was anything. Like I'm tired. I'll heal. I'll get better. and it didn't work. Okay, now let's go off that topic. So at the time I got these papers, if they were the ones giving it to me, this would have worked for them because they would have been able to claim it. They can't claim it because they didn't know it. The other thing that I was going to talk to you guys about is that if we fear everything, we'll never do anything. So this isn't a program. I want to see. They said I used to wipe my eyes. You can tell they were watering. This thing causes my eyes to run. And when they criticize me for not always wiping my eyes, sometimes I don't have to. But anyway, so what I'm saying to you is that I would have, if I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm doing these things as I come across things, and I hope it helps people because people will learn certain things, or if you already knew it, you'll find out where that came from. For me, I don't remember every instance of every day of my life. They thought I would, but I remember who I am, and who I am doesn't really change over time. I have a sense of self, so my sense of self wouldn't be that, oh, I just know these things. They claim that I was like, oh, I just know this. Let me tell you something. The people that know me and I've been around, if I acted that way, including the people involved in this, they would have said it. You can read the letters and the comments that they wrote to me at the time. I was never like, oh, I just know everything. I'm just so amazing. No, the other big deal about that is they said when I was working at Saks Fifth Avenue, they thought I had this idea, that idea in my head. Again, this is who these voices are. These are people who they admit they they don't know what they're talking about. So I found a receipt of from 2008, and I bought some DVDs. I'm not going to name whose DVD was included, but there were several different DVDs. And they said, oh, they would have claimed that I stole those DVDs. You can't even, if you guys remember how DVDs used to be packaged in the stores, you can't even leave the area with the DVD, let alone steal it. And my question about that, now I got another question. They started talking about, people stealing from the the pharmacies and things like that. The way packages used to be, they used to have like the metal detector. You go out of the area, it would go off. I don't even know why it got easier to steal now than it was before. You couldn't steal things years ago, but I think also that's something that's changed because years ago everything was hard to steal. So I didn't steal it. I bought it, and that's why I keep my receipts, because that would be another lie about me. So I think I talked about a lot. If I remember something else to say, I will say it. But I want to talk to you guys who are going through this. And a lot of us go through medical issues. And we had a hard time figuring out why. It's because of the radiation. I have a lot of lumps. And yesterday I was able to stretch my skin like this on my arm. And you can see all of them. There's so many. That's why when they wanted to, they could surgically remove the bigger ones, it wouldn't make any sense because there are so many small ones. So they said they're going to do it to my face. And like I said, they said I would get to a point where I'm like, well, so be it. Um, I think it's not a so be it reaction about the face part. It's more like this is who they are. This doesn't happen naturally or normally. When they were talking about the lumps that I had before in my chest, that was more normal, but they said they caused that also. But the other stuff they definitely caused. Um, as I'm dealing with this and they're threatening me and calling me a liar and saying that I'm a child molester, I abuse children, and then they said there are no children, no children. Then I'm a horrible person because I must not like children. Then when I was, like I said, I was against the child separation, and that was no, excuse me. So I was against child separation, and at the time they never made these false allegations of me being a child abuser or child molester. But it came after that. They said it was to teach me a lesson. So the lesson I'm getting from them is that you can lie, you can do it out in the open. They keep trying to lie and say that all the voices weren't out loud. Yes, it was. It was out loud. When they called me a child molester, it was out loud. I don't have any direct means of getting sounds into my head. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to say when they were talking about the voices. Targeted people know it's not their minds. They're trying to confuse it with maybe other people who feel that this is something in their mind. That's not what I'm referring to. The voices are out loud. They cannot go into anyone's heads directly. The research already proves that regular V2K cannot give you a whole conversation. It can do sounds, noises, and simple words. So they even acknowledged and admitted on more than one occasion that this was supposed to work with stealing. So, for example, it's over there. They wouldn't be able to say it's over there. They'll say there or to your left or left, meaning it's not supposed to be long, involved conversations. That's not invented yet. And partially why that will not work is because imagine if you're outside, not in your home where they can connect the wiring, but in the street, and you hear someone talking and talking and talking and talking, it would confuse the criminal that is supposed to help. But this was never meant to help. It's meant to give the appearance of mental illness. But what I'm explaining to them is if you say that you were always doing this to me, then you are taking credit not just for the good things that I've done, but for the bad. I will never use that as an excuse, which is what they wanted to do to me, is say, well, I did these horrible things and it's because of them. No, I would never do that. But what they want to do is say this was always happening to you. We were always doing these things, but but you're making stuff up about writing. What is that? That doesn't make sense. Thank you for watching.